Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it.
Are you having a hard time finding great investment properties? Unfortunately, the best deals are rarely found locally. Successful investing begins with the right properties in the right markets. Norada Real Estate provides everything you need to invest in the best deals across the U.S. Our simple, proven system will help you create real wealth and passive monthly cash flow. Get your free copy of the ultimate guide to passive real estate investing at noradarealestate.com/guide. That's NORADA realestate.com/guide.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about building wealth and specific focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer, and today we have Hump Day Hustle. And I'm going to talk about today a little bit about kind of what's going on in the market. And we're seeing a market, the 2017, that is definitely pushing the boundaries for a lot of people. Plenty of people think that we're going to see a crash, that this is it. This is the height of the market. We had a crash in 2008. So naturally, we've got another crash coming today. And I think that's actually misinformation. I think that when people stop thinking we're going to be crashing, that's when we're going to crash. And to me, too many people think that we're going to crash tomorrow. This is the end. It's just too crazy. We have too much price appreciation. But here's some food for thought. When you have a real estate boom and bust cycle, what you typically see is from boom peak to boom to the next boom peak, we typically are going to see prices higher, and quite a bit higher, by the way, than the previous boom. And what we're seeing right now across the U.S. is general, and now every market's different. So if you're out in California and San Francisco or whatever, or in a different market, I get that you might have different fundamentals going on than we do. But in most markets, if we look at the nation in as a whole, we are seeing prices actually just about at the same level as we did at the last peak, slightly higher in some areas, lower in other areas. But we really aren't seeing major increase. The other thing that we haven't seen in most markets, again, we haven't seen major price appreciation. We've seen price appreciation and healthy price appreciation, but we haven't seen that double-digit price appreciation in year over. So then there's several more factors that I like to look at. And when I'm studying what's going on and where are we at, I look at the typical market cycle from peak to peak on a typical market cycle. Historically, we've been at between 17 and 18 years. Our last peak in 2006 should be 17 to 18 years from that date. If we keep historicals, we still have many more years to run this. And what I said previously, I do agree. I think that this is going to continue to go on for anywhere between 4 to 6 years, and maybe even a couple more years after that, but 4 to 6 years is what I think is going to continue to happen. We got to look at other things, such as what's happening overall in the economy. Is it a healthy economy? Is it an economy that's being artificially boosted? What we know that the unemployment rate is definitely much lower. I mean, even cities that were really hard hit during the recession, like Detroit, they're at 5.6 unemployment. I guess Midwestern Rust Belt cities really got hit, and they're in the single digits, the low single digits, really across the country. Most markets, excluding a few, are in just the single digit unemployment rate. So that is really healthy. We have to really look at that. Why are people not going to be buying when everybody's got a job and they're doing well? Now, one thing that we haven't seen that can concern people is we haven't seen incomes increase very much. We've seen some slight incomes or slight increase, but we haven't seen a lot of increase. But what I would point out is we haven't seen that. We are bound to see that. Now, if we don't, and we continue to see a lot of price increase in the single family, and same thing with rents, could we see some pushback? Could we see some plateauing, some stagnation? Yes, I think we definitely could. What I think that'll do, though, is I think that'll plateau. I don't see a crash in that case. I see a plateau, and then I see this extending for several more years before we do see that increase and then that crash. So, are we an artificial economy? I don't think so. I think we're seeing a strong growth. We're seeing a lot of positive things happening. Could there be things that could change its directions? Sure. Absolutely. There's many things, but those are just fear factors in my mind. Those are things that we can't predict. Could North Korea bomb us? Yeah, they could. Would that disrupt what we have going on? Absolutely, that would. Could our political environment completely derail us? Yeah, it could. But again, those are things we can't directly influence and really predict. You're just kind of, you're fear mongering essentially when you're doing that. So those are my main points on why I think we're going to have a healthy real estate economy for the next 4 to 6 years. Why I still think we're going to see price appreciation. Now, it doesn't change the fact that as an investor, you need to be aware of where you're at. You need to be aware of what you're buying and does it make sense. Now, I'm not going to go out and buy a house that's listed at $200,000 that I can rent for $1,500 a month. That just doesn't make sense. The numbers don't align. When it's all said and done there, just because I think that house is going to be worth $300,000 in another 4 years, it doesn't work for me to lose money every month. But if I'm going to be able to rent at $1,500 and I can find and buy a house for 100 to 150, those numbers can work. Even if I push it a little bit where I still have good cash flow, and as long as I'm being conservative with my numbers, that works. And now I can do that. Same thing with the multifamily, same thing with the office and industrial, all that kind of stuff. As long as the numbers work and work well in today's economy, and you're safe and you're putting money away, then you'll be fine. If price does appreciate, great. If it goes down, as long as you were conservative, as long as you really paid attention to what's happening, then you should also be fine. So, I mean, that to me is the best advice: is be conservative in your underwriting and make sure that you're taking care of yourself first. So, hope you at least took something away from it, or at least can think about what's going on and come to your own conclusion. Maybe do some research and decide where the market is for you, and should you invest or should you hide in the weeds, and should you wait? Should you park your money for the next crash? And that's never a horrible idea. I just don't think it's the best idea. So this is Todd Daxarmer. I'm signing off. Thanks for joining me for Hump Day Hustle. And remember, every day is Saturday.